has his ult out.
Hit it, hit it, hit it.
No, are you serious? Nice. Left. Nice. One underneath. Nice.
So here we're going to do Cypher. Cypher is going to be pretty quick, very easy to explain. He's a very, very useful character, and I'll show you why once we jump in this game. You take out your trap. Now you can use abilities so long as they're on your side early, right? So what you could do is you can put a trap here. You could put a trap here. And then you can leave your solo player, whoever wants to play this site, alone. And you can leave them. And you could go help A early, right? If you decide that you want to quickly jump through this wire, it's going to slow you down and reveal your position through the wall. So let's say I'm over here playing kind of safe, and somebody jumps through. I'll see them right through this wall, and I'll be able to peek and just kill them very easily, right? Now, another thing that's useful is his cage. The cage ability is good because you could throw it down like so. You could pop it, and now it's this giant wall. And if they jump through and they try to commit through this wall, it's going to really screw them up. What's cool about it is you can place the trap down like so. So the trap is there. Now all you have to do is look at it and hit F, and it detonates. So if you time it right, and you know that they're about to explode onto your site, you can let one person pass, pop it, take out the one person, and now the whole team is behind. Now they have to think to themselves, do we go through it and be really, really slow, or do we just let our teammate die? And then the third ability, which is also really good, is he can throw his own camera. Let's put the camera right here. Okay, so I don't even have to be peeking. I could just be hiding behind this box, just chilling, and I could just be on my camera, and I could be looking. You quickly jump on the camera, see if anybody's close. Nobody's close. Okay, maybe you go this side. You look. Oh, somebody's right there. You shoot them with a dart, peek them. There's so many like cool ways to use this character very effectively. Every single one of his abilities is really useful. Now his ultimate, if there's an enemy dead body next to you, you can throw your ultimate on top of it, and it hacks into the enemy team, and it shows their position through the walls for 1 second and on the map. This character is essential, and I think he will be used in every single game of Valorant. Unless he gets changed in some sort of way, but for now, he's absolutely incredible. The information that he can gather and the delay he can do to the enemy team is absurd. Your whole team wants to go B. So what you can do is you can set up your traps nice and early. You could put one here. So now if anybody rotates and tries to flank you, they're going to have to get hit by this trap. So now you know the only spot that they could flank you successfully is through this teleporter. And the other side of the teleporter is right here. Another way he's useful is, let's say they do go through the teleporter, the trap cage. You could just leave one right there. So let's say your whole team took the site. You hear the teleporter go off. You quickly turn around, detonate it. Now they can't flank you. They're not going to go through that. There's no way. They'll be too scared to go through it, and now you're good for however many seconds. Let's say your team has fully taken this site. You have control of B. Cool. Jump on your camera. Okay, nobody's flanking. Cool. Get back in the game. Flanking? Nope, nobody's flanking? Cool. The speed of which you could jump to your camera and jump back to your character is very, very fast, so the information that you gather is absolutely insane. And the ultimate works the exact same. You see a dead body, you use it, reveals the enemy team, so you can know if a reactor site is open or not. And that's why I think Cypher is absolutely essential for both attacking, defending on any single map. I'm going to talk about Jett in like a live map scenario. So we'll show you an example of how she can get to a position to get a frag a lot faster than the opponent, right? The opposing team is stuck right behind this barrier. So my goal is to get to this position and get a snipe faster than they can get there. So for example, go here, we run, and dash. So we just got set up before they did, right? Because we have that dash ability. So, to show her abilities in the flesh, her smoke ability is very challenging to use. Like I said, you can curve it in the air, like so. But in order to hit a smoke in the air, it is very, very challenging. You could smoke, and then you can walk out. They don't last that long, but they last just long enough, and they're very, very fast to throw. So you can use them in combat situations very well. Another example is maybe you guys are trying to maybe your team is trying to explode out of the showers here, right? So you can do this. You can get close, boom, boom, boom. And now you just walk through a giant smoke wall, and it'll surprise the heck out of the other team. So that's different ways she could be useful, right? A good example is curves. If you want to curve it around the corner, you could kind of do that. Although it's very, very hard to do this and pull it off successfully. See, like right there was pretty good, right? When it comes to defending, she has this ability, which is her Q, right? We could be sitting up here, and we could, let's say we have a phantom, right? And somebody's on the other side of this truck. We could jump up and kind of surprise them, right? Now, her knives, her ultimate, she gets it fairly quickly. She only needs 6 charges to get her ultimate ability. Now, if you hit somebody in the head with a knife, it'll one-shot them, and it'll refresh your charges on your knife. Let's say, for example, you're up in heaven and you're defending, and they have full control, and there's a smoke there, a smoke there, and a smoke there. You can hit your Q, dash, and stab wherever they are, right? It could make for a really, really quick, fast play with very, very low sound, so nobody would really expect it, you know? You could also hover. So you got to be really precise with these knives, but if you are precise, it will really pay off, and you could really make a crazy play in the round. She's the playmaker. She could change the course of a round in an instant because of how quick she is, right? So if you feel like that's kind of your playstyle, Jett might just be for you. All right, there we go. We're going to show another character. We're going to show Phoenix. Phoenix is very, very straightforward. I wouldn't say he's too difficult to master. You very well could mess up your team, but if you do, it won't be too impactful. So we'll use his Flame Wall, which is called Blaze. Flame Wall could be used to deter the team from pushing, or it can be used to make a sneaky play and, you know, cut across a corner. An example would be like this. Now it's deterring the team, but at the same time, I kind of snuck myself into another corner without them visibly seeing. Nobody's going to want to jump through the flame wall because it's going to do damage, and whoever's on the defending end is going to be at the advantage. It can even be comboed where you could throw the flame wall, and then you can throw a flash around the corner and then run through it yourself. And the reason why you can do that individually is because the fire does not hurt you. The fire actually heals you. Flashbang can also be useful for your team. If you're about to swing around this corner and everyone's trying to make like an aggressive play, throw the flash, everybody peeks together. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, okay? How his E ability is useful is for clearing corners. Just throw that down. Now, they're either going to die or they're going to run around the corner into your crosshair, and then you're just going to shoot him in the head. Easy peasy. For his last ability, which is his ultimate, you could very well waste it if you use it too early. But let's say you want to make an aggressive play through this area. You use your You use it right here. You go crazy, whatever. If you die, it's not a big deal. It's just going to teleport you back to where you started. Like so. I would say Phoenix is more on the easier end to play. So if you're a new player trying to have some fun, learn the game mechanics, Phoenix might be your choice. Here we're going to be talking about Soova. So we'll start off by showing how the drone is useful. So for example, let's say you have a teammate that's trying to get aggressive through these arches. You know, they don't want to do it without information, right? So you could sit here, your teammate could be in front of you, covering you. You use your drone, and you go spot it out for them. If you see somebody, make sure you shoot this bolt at them, because if you shoot this bolt, it's going to really, really help your teammate, because it's going to show their position through the wall. You'll see their little outline. The Q ability, which is the shock, it's a burst ability. The closer the enemy is to the center of the ability, the more damage it will do. So let me show you what it looks like. So you see how it has that radius for a second? The closer they are to the center, the more damage it does. I don't know the exact damage value, but I know 2 shock darts can definitely kill players. I had a couple games where I've actually killed 2 people with one shock dart. Another thing you could do with the shock bolt is you can bounce it. So if you see under the charge ability, it says bounces 1, 2. If you right click, it adds bounces. This recon bolt works the exact same, but instead of doing damage, it pulsates. Looks like this. It has a radius. Now, how this works is if they get caught by the radius, it'll show them through the wall, and it'll have an outline. The counter to this bolt is, if you're hiding behind a wall, it won't reveal you. What you want to do is shoot it right away. So if you see somebody, shoot it like this, you can actually shoot the bolt before it pulses once. So no information will be gathered besides, oh, somebody shot my bolt. A lot of people I saw on Twitter were really, really worried about this ability because it gives you, essentially wall hacks. It's not as strong as people think. They have to be within view of the bolt, and even if they are within view of the bolt, all you have to do is shoot it. It's really, really noisy. Anyone in that site will be able to just turn around and shoot it and stop it from happening. So that's why it's kind of a balanced ability, right? And now the last ability he has is an ultimate that he can shoot through the map. When you hit it, pay attention to the mini-map top left here. You'll have a little arrow going through the map, and that's where you know it's going to land. So let's say you're sitting here on B, and your team is getting attacked from A. You can assist them by having this crazy skill shot, which is actually really, really hard to hit, but it hits for about 80 damage, so you can 2-shot people. It's either 80 or 70, I'm not really sure. That's what it looks like. And you can pull off 3 shots. And the second you hit them with one of those shots, it'll reveal them through the wall. So that's how you can use his ability very effectively to assist your team, even when you're not there. A lot of characters work in that way, where they have supportive abilities that you can use across the map. So that's why communication in this game is very, very key to assist your teammates the best way possible. All right, here we go. Last character we're showing. Last character. My voice is dying. Viper is one of the most skillful character I think I've played. And the reason why she's very skillful is because a lot of your abilities will hurt your team if not used correctly. Her first ability is Snake Bite, which is pretty much just a pool of acid. Her second ability is Q. It's a poison cloud. It looks like any other smoke grenade in the game, but it does poison damage. Her E is a toxic screen. Now, toxic screen is, you could shoot this across the whole map, and I'll show you what it looks like when you hit E. You see on the top of the map where it's showing that blue line? So you can shoot it over rooftops. So technically, you can assist your team at the other site by throwing it over. And her fourth ability is Viper's Pit. This is a giant cloud that you can control yourself. So long as you're inside the cloud stays up. If you leave the cloud, after a certain amount of time, the cloud will go away. All the abilities that Viper has does poison damage. Now, poison damage is a little different from fire damage. Fire damage is direct. It'll just hit you for flat damage. What poison damage does, the longer you sit in it, the more HP you lose. Your HP can go all the way down to 1 HP, but it cannot kill you. If you exit the cloud of gas, your HP will regen back to what it was. If you use it when your team is aggressing and you don't communicate it accordingly, they might be sitting in your gas and go all the way down to 1 HP, and somebody shoots one stray bullet, and that's it. They're done, right? Another thing to note is that Viper does not take damage herself when she's in her abilities. As you see, there's the bar going up in the middle, and that's her toxic bar. So her Q and E are shared with that bar. So as long as they're activated, that bar is going to go down. When you turn them off, the bar is going to go up. It charges just normally, right? Let's say you think somebody's on the other side of this wall in this cubby. Boom. You shoot that. It'll do a lot of damage. They cannot sit in that. They will die very quickly. So it's a good way to clear your corners. Now, her Q ability is something that you have to actually trigger yourself, right? So let's say you want to put it down right here. You hit Q. Boom. The gas is up. If they walk through it, they're going to slowly take damage. So they probably won't. Now, it stays up for as long as you want or until the bar hits 0. And now it's done. And now you can't use it for a couple seconds. As you see when I press Q, there's a bar. I press Q again, there's a bar. So I can't use it yet. Still can't use it. I still can't use it. And now I can use it again. So it's to prevent like people constantly turning it on, off. Her E ability is the really, really neat ability because you could create some crazy plays. So you hit E, and you could shoot this across the walls. So let's say you want to, at the start of the round, you want to separate this whole place and work a crazy push. So you go like this, boom, you shoot it. It looks like so. Now everything's set up. So you shot that right away, pop the wall, get ahead of it, and now you're totally behind the wall, and the enemy team could be right on the other side, and they have no idea. Your whole team could be behind this wall right now, right? The gas goes down, and now you start firing. Everybody's right there. One thing to note is once you use this ability in a round, you cannot pick it back up. It's there the whole round. Unlike her Q, which you can actually pick up. You can pick up her Qs. That one's fine. You just can't pick up these. And now lastly, for her ultimate Viper's Pit. This is the one that's really, really tricky because the radius of the ability is very... it's very hard to perfect, I guess is the best way of putting it. And this is why. So let's say you have control of the site and you have the spike down and you planted it. Let's say you put the ability right here. Now the gas starts to form. This is the radius. So now your team, if they're inside this site trying to protect it, they are actually losing HP. So they probably want to play outside of it. But you yourself would not want to play outside of the ability because if you stay outside of this zone, the smoke integrity goes down. If the bar hits 0, that means the smoke goes away. So long as Viper's inside that ability, it will not go down. It'll stay there forever. Another thing to note about this ability is that Viper does not take damage. And if an enemy gets close enough to you, even though you don't see them, there will be a red outline. So you could play around these really, really tight corners. And to them, they have no idea where they're running. They can't see anything. But you as Viper, you have a little bit more range to work with. So if somebody swings on this corner, Before they even see you, you're going to see them first. So you have that advantage. This character and this ultimate can make some crazy clutch plays in like a 1v3, 1v2. So I would say this is more of like, you know, once you've gotten familiar with all the other characters, maybe try this one later, you know, because you don't want to hurt your team. Anyway, that's Viper.